Hello and welcome to all the parents. We've missed you. We've been trying to ease our way into 2025 with all the new things that are happening. So it's wonderful to be able to chat to you again today because we are walking the talk, whether we want to or not. We are walking the talk as parents. Every day presents new challenges, and we are just chatting about what can help us get through the day more effectively, more productively. What are the gems that we can get out of every situation? And especially when it comes to children who know just when to press those buttons, it sometimes helps to just have a conversation about what is going through our minds, what is going through theirs, so that we can try and find better solutions for us. So welcome, Marelise Culbert here and Isla Reddin. And it's our pleasure and our privilege to be talking to you today. And what we want to say is based around the question of what are they thinking? I'm sure that is something when you think of your interactions with your children or things that they've managed to get up to today. What were they thinking? But that is such a good question. And how this actually came up is I told Isla about something that I had been dealing with my son just 2 weeks ago. And everything that was rushing through my head. And she said to me, but do you know that he might have been thinking this or that? And that brought me to a screeching halt because no, I did not consider either of those two options in my head when she was saying this. So, Isla, can you tell us more about your thinking around this, please? Because I've spoken enough now.
Well, I think in the situation we're talking, I had the huge advantage of being the observer, right? I wasn't in the conversation. I wasn't in the drama of what was going on. So the advantage that I had was to be able to kind of look from the outside and wonder, be curious, could he have been thinking this or that? Or what you thought he might have been thinking as another alternative. And I want to say that maybe it's a huge advantage to have somebody else that's on the outside from time to time
Yeah.
who is able to give you some other kind of thinking. But in the situation that you were in, I think that what I discover a lot with teenagers is that we as parents assume that the sense we're making of a situation is the sense that they have made of it as well. And one of the things that, with all the reading and the studying that I've done, one of the things that has always stuck with me is with our teens, when as a parent we say, well, what were you thinking? And often the real answer is, I don't know because I wasn't thinking, because that thinking brain, that connectivity isn't there yet. So many times that we can say they weren't thinking rationally, they weren't thinking consequence of action, which is often where that kind of thing shows up. But the fact that we don't even ask the question, what were you thinking to explore? Did they have a completely different interpretation of a situation than we did? And if maybe we had been curious enough to understand their interpretation of it, we would have learned something incredibly valuable that would become a connector, a real opportunity for communication and development of that relationship.
So true. And the reason why it's important to talk about this today is because just in reality, we as parents have, I said to her, I feel like I'm being washed over by a tidal wave every day. There are a million things that we need to think of. The world is changing. There's so many things that we are not even um, comfortable with or wanting to go through. And we've got to keep everyone afloat. Let's face it, there's a lot of pressure on parents. It doesn't matter where you find yourself, it doesn't matter what you're going through, there's a lot of pressure. So when your child is not responding or acting in a way that to you would seem very logical right now, or just acceptable, all these emotions going through your head is like, oh, I can't still deal with this as well. And then immediately you just retaliate or respond or clap back. And when I realized that everything that's washing through my head is not even on his shore. It's nowhere near him. He is dealing with a whole bunch of other things that I don't know about. And until I stop what's going on in my head and say, what are you thinking? Why are you saying that? Why would you even be focusing on that? There's no ways that this conversation can end well. It's crucial for us to reach that point like, okay, let's just stop right here because this is not making sense and ask without any specific expectation, whatever, just ask. That curiosity thing that you spoke about, that is the key to everything. That is the key to any kind of connection for me with your teenager, because just assuming that they must be thinking this or they must be doing that, or, they have no idea what I'm dealing with. That's not going to help anybody.
Well, and I want to point out as well, if okay with you, that you were dealing with a very challenging situation that was personally difficult for you. And I think the other thing that happens to us as parents is we want to protect our children from anything that they could perceive as being painful. Either it's painful, they don't want to see us in pain, so we want to protect that. We want to protect them from any painful environment that is around us, etc., etc. So I think we have a real tendency that I believe is misguided to hold back what we're the language around what we're feeling. So what our kids are aware of is we're in pain or we're in turmoil or we're angry or we're exhibiting an emotion. They see it and they feel it, no matter what age they are. From the 2-year-old to the 22-year-old, they're seeing that and they're feeling it. And if we, especially with our older kids, if we cannot be honest and be a bit vulnerable and actually put words on these emotions, then it's even harder for them to figure out what they're supposed to think about the situation, because we've left them, everybody's kind of fallen into this gap between mom who's having a really hard day or a hard time or a hard challenge to solve, and the child that's watching that but doesn't know how to respond or react and is assuming all kinds of possibly horrible things. I mean, we just don't know if we're not open enough to actually find the language to talk a bit about what's going on for us as well.
Yeah, that's so key. That's so important what you're saying. Because that's the thing. There's so much going on with every single one of us. So regardless of the relationship, whether it's with an employee or a spouse or a child or a parent, communication, that is the key. Communication and being open, not assuming, but being open to what exactly is going on in that person's heart and mind and trying to connect there.
With that, being okay with whatever your child's answer is. You may not like what they're going to say to you, but they're never going to be honest if you don't invite the conversation, and then don't react and don't judge. I mean, it's so easy for our kids to start hiding things from us as they get older because they don't feel that we are a safe sounding board for them, that we're going to act or react, we're going to judge, all of that. So we get into really, really tricky waters. And with everything moving so fast, it's hard.
Mm. Can I tell a quick story about that? Because this really changed my life. I always had this philosophy in all my relationships when I got older and I realized how damaging things can be, that truth, truth is the ultimate. So you can literally tell me absolutely anything, I will deal with it. But if you don't tell me the truth, I cannot journey with you. I'm sorry, you cannot be part of my world. I can't constantly stop and wonder if you're telling me the truth or not. So anyway, the moment I had children, it was the first most important thing to me that I felt I really needed to instill in them is, for heaven's sakes, I don't care what you tell me. Just tell me the truth. Otherwise, the consequences will even be worse. And then I did a brain course and we were talking about lies and what are behind lies. Why do people lie, etc. And I just realized most of the time people don't lie because they actually aim to deceive you. They lie because they don't have the courage to deal with the truth. Because they know, yes, I'm going to tell her now, and then she's going to explode and the world's never going to look the same again. And I realized, my gosh, by putting that thing there of you have to tell me the truth. I have to create the environment where they feel safe doing that. So truth is not the ultimate thing. The ultimate thing I need to instill in them is this space. You can only tell the truth and it'll be fine. It'll be acceptable. It'll be safe. It'll be a place where whatever that is, we'll deal with it together. We'll sort it out. There will be love here, no judgment. And I will help you find a better way going forward. That was my responsibility. Then I can say truth and only truth. So thank you for reminding me of that, because that all of this is so linked together. Unless this is your intention with whatever the question is that you're asking, whatever you are bringing to a standstill in that moment, it's going to be futile. It's going to be pointless. So thank you for reminding us of that, Isla.
Well,
yes.
Is
there anything else you want to add?
We're all learning our own lessons all the time, right? No, I don't think so. I think there are two pieces to it. There's one being giving yourself grace when you're aware that you have overreacted, or that you are pushing all of your own overwhelm on the people around you, whether they're your kids or not. And so I think giving yourself grace and being aware, that awareness of, this is how I'm feeling, but maybe I need to just slow down, pause, and find out how the other person is feeling. And if I can ask those questions in a way that invites them to be open, because they see that together we could do more, then that's the goal. At the end of the day, it's all about communication. Every relationship is based on how well we communicate. Every relationship. So
yes. Yes. Thank you for that wonderful reminder. And may we remind each other every day, because this is really a huge key. So thank you for that. It was wonderful to spend time again together. Yeah. Just delve a little bit deeper, find the love, and encourage each other. I hope going to have a wonderful week. Thank you very much, always, for your valuable input. Love you dearly.
Well, thank you, Marelise. It's
So
always
have a wonderful week,
a
everyone.
pleasure, and I'm going to wish everybody out there a wonderful week as well, and that you kind of hold those people that are close to you even closer. It really can. It really matters.
Thank you. Bye.